Scott Bolden is here, famed criminal defense attorney, former chair of the D.C. Democratic Party. All right, if you're Hunter, okay, look, if you're Hunter, fine. If you're Merrick Garland, you're the attorney general. It makes it a lot easier to not charge the president's son if you haven't charged Donald Trump, right?
Not necessarily. These are mutually exclusive cases. And as a former prosecutor, you treat them mutually exclusive. It's all up to the evidence. And while prosecutors have discretion, remember, Bill Barr investigated Hunter Biden, didn't charge him. And they've investigated Biden and others and looked at all of these issues, and there's been no indictment. So I think Donald Trump had a worse day today and mere existence than Hunter Biden ever could have, because he hasn't been indicted or charged.
Okay, you said that you as a former prosecutor, and you're right, prosecutors love to exist in a world where politics doesn't matter and it's all sunshine and roses and ethics and everything else.
We try to stay out of that.
Right, but this is the President of the United States, his Attorney General, who's overseeing two investigations, one into his chief rival for the presidency and the other into the president's son. I'm playing this through that if you're Merrick Garland, you want to be seen as truly impartial. You've got this other decision coming down the pike as it relates to Hunter Biden. How do you justify having charged Donald Trump with a crime where the national security of the United States, by their own admission, was not hurt? And yes, Hunter Biden, who we can tell pretty clearly lied on that gun application, committed a federal felony. It's pretty clear he did based on the evidence in his laptop and the fact that he said he didn't use drugs. He lied. How do you justify not charging that and using prosecutorial discretion?
Because Merrick Garland is not in charge of the Trump investigation. Jack Smith is. And Jack Smith, as a special prosecutor, is separate and apart from DOJ. And the only reason DOJ would ever get involved is if Jack Smith started acting very erratically or inappropriately or illegally. That hasn't happened here. With Hunter Biden, you're talking about a Class E felony. He lied on a gun application. I must tell you, that's a very defensible case, because even if you believe it was a lie and the government believes it was a lie, under that defense standard, if he believed he was telling the truth, and in his heart of hearts he believed it, he could never be indicted, unless it wouldn't be appropriate.
Irrespective of the pictures on his laptop. Okay. Irrespective of what's on his laptop. This is, I thought, was interesting. When President Biden, and we've always been waiting or looking for as reporters, the link between Hunter Biden's rather unsavory activities, of which there's a long thing.
He was an addict, by the way.
Right.
And addicts act that way. Okay. So you can't blame President Biden for having a son that's an addict.
Never would.
Or recovering addict.
Never would. Laptop probe, tax affairs, family involvement, drug use.
You know that wouldn't be fair, right?
Of course not. No, but hold on. Okay, for the first time, we have seen in this week an alleged link between not Hunter Biden, but Joe Biden and criminal activity. And he was asked about it yesterday. Take a listen.
I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge. I'm honest.
All right, so he was asked the bribery allegations. Nancy May says there's damning evidence in the FBI file that you sold out the country. Do you have a response to congressional Republicans? Where's the money? I'm joking. It's a bunch of malarkey, is what Biden said. Are Democrats starting to get worried that if there is this intense of a look at Donald Trump and this intense of a look on bad behavior, criminal behavior, that it just only intensifies the questions about Joe Biden?
I don't think so. What the report that you're talking about is rooted in hearsay, even double hearsay. They interviewed a confidential witness that they believed that was credible, who told the story of a conversation with Burisma, someone high up, that they had put $5 million in the Biden family and given $5 million to Hunter Biden, right? That's double hearsay, if you will. And Trump's DOJ has looked at this. The current DOJ is looking at this. He hasn't been charged yet, and you're talking about a gun charge and a possible tax evasion charge. I must tell you, both of those are defensible, because I've defended them before with several public officials, and I got to tell you, they're not slam dunk. So I don't think it's a fair comparison, a negative comparison between Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a bad actor, and we knew he was a bad actor, and he's been a bad actor, and this is called chickens coming home to roost, because now it's rooted in accountability. The criminal justice system doesn't care about MAGA or Donald Trump. Everybody gets treated the same. And he can be convicted, And I predict he's not going to stay in this race.
I know
There's
you
a third
said that.
indictment coming, and we got to watch closely at this.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.